Amartya Rao Naik comes from a lower middle class background, and his father works as a vegetable vendor at a railway flyover. Gangster Gaitonde demands protection money from every vendor there. One day, some of the notorious Gaitonde's goons attack Arjun, the younger brother of Amartya. Amartya trashes the entire group out of wrath. He is abused more after being taken into custody by the police and Gaitonde's goons. The criminal Nari Khan respects him since he can defeat them all and advises Gaitonde against taking any further action. Amartya swiftly secures bail thanks to Bhau, the head of the neighborhood, Chhatrapati Sena, a violent group that looks for strong guys like Amartya. After making Gaitonde his adversary, Bhau instructs him to find a solution within a week. If he succeeds, Bhau will offer him his political and legal protection in exchange. Amartya meets the important assistant to Nari and learns about Gaitonde's activities. He then fights his guys and manages to take all of his weapons. Later, he obtains bail for Nari and issues a warning to Gaitonde to move aside. Gaitonde regrets his fate as he becomes aware of his waning vitality. Amartya gains unrestricted control of the city with Bhau's approval. Amartya sends Arjun to a boarding school to keep him away from violence. A few years later, he marries his childhood friend Seema, who arranges the marriage of the adult Arjun Rao Naik to her mistress Neelam and sends the newlyweds to London to keep them away from Amartya's life of crime. Send back. Meanwhile, Gaitonde made a deal with factory owner Sunil Kitan, who forced the factory workers out and turned it into a realistic large-scale project to take advantage of the newly liberalized economy. They were planning to use factory land. Amartya fears Gaitonde's rapid resurrection attempts, and he kills Kitan after he disobeys his warnings. Arjun returns to India and is attacked by Gaitonde's men in retaliation for killing Kitan. Meanwhile, Kitan's wife Sonali announces a reward of 1 billion yen for each policeman who kills Amartya. Inspector Vijay Sabakar leads the investigation into the Amartya case and arrests Sadashiv, the underdog of Amartya's gang. Sadashiv attacks his colleagues and Vijay manages to kill 4 of his colleagues. Arjun correctly suspects that Sadashiv is a rat. To confirm this, Amartya asks Sadashiv to meet her in the park. Arriving there disguised as a taxi driver, he discovers police officers preparing an ambush. Coincidentally, Vijay has hired a taxi to his office and they greet each other when Vijay gets out of the taxi. Arjun then killed Sadashiv, who was under police protection, bribed the officers, and shot one of the officers in the arm to make it look like an ambush. Due to Kitan's death and the police ambush, the police are under intense pressure to search for Kitan, and since it is no longer safe for Kitan to remain in the city, Bhau has asked Amartya to leave the country. Advise you to go to Amartya travels to London and Arjun now runs a gang. Vijay issues a court order to Arjun to warn him of his absence. He says that by default he will receive a targeted fire order from the court and will be free to kill, even in public. Arjun is shot dead by Gaitonde's husband who appears in court. Although he survived the attack, he was permanently paralyzed from the waist down. Amartya returns to India and rescues Arjun from the police, only to be shot dead by Vijay.